Dude, I don't know about y'all, but my hair is getting long. All right, let's get right to it. 10 things coronavirus taught me. All right, so right off the bat, I just wanted to say that this isn't meant to be a video diminishing the fact that this is a big deal. I'm doing my part. I am social distancing, staying away from everybody, wearing a mask in public, everything that everybody's asking of me. I'm even going the extra mile when I get my groceries to make sure my parents are safe, bleaching everything I could possibly imagine. I am doing everything that I can possibly think of to try and stay safe, on top of the fact that I'm doing everything that the government is telling me to do. And I know that some people are seriously affected by this in so many ways. I know a few people personally have been affected by it, family members and neighbors and a lot of people. I guess this whole intro part is just to say I don't want to diminish how anyone's feeling about this, whether you're scared, whether it's affecting you personally, whether it's affecting your family members. I feel for you. I understand where you're coming from. But I also just know that there's a lot of sadness out right now and a lot of fear and a lot of panic. I know that this is a bad thing that is going on, but I truly believe that some good things can come out of bad things. So this is my attempt at that. This is my attempt at thinking as I do that sometimes. And I was thinking about a few things that came up for me. This has been a really big change for me, as I'm sure it is for a lot of people. And I think when you have a big change like this, it separates you from your norm. You get to look at your life almost from an outside point of view looking in. And so for me, this changed a lot of things. It just made me look at what I actually want. I started thinking about where I'm at in life and got real existential real quick. Like I'm sure a lot of you have. Yeah, so I kind of came up with this list of things that I think that have changed for me or changed my mental state when it came to just this time together. So let's just get right into it. Number one, things will happen that are outside of your control. That seems obvious. Caveat to that is things will happen that are outside of your control, but what's inside of your control that you can do right now? This has been a big thing for me, especially when it comes to fear and all the things that are going on with coronavirus and things that are just scary to do or to experience. There's a lot of things you can't control. I mean, this goes across all levels. You can't control how someone's gonna perceive you. You can't control if they're gonna feel a certain way about you. You can't control if you necessarily contract this thing. I mean, a lot of people are getting this and they're doing all the right things and they're doing the best that they can. So what do you do when something's out of your control? Do you throw your hands up in the air and just say, well, I guess I'll just get what I get and just be stuck in that? Or do you seriously assess, okay, this is what I can do and can control, and this is what I can't control? And this is a huge one for me because I am kind of a control freak. I like to control things in my life, make sure that I know what's gonna happen next. And honestly, this is something that you can't know. You could do everything right, like I said, and you could still get this thing. So what do you do? Well, what I've been doing is focusing on things that I can control, wearing gloves, distancing from people, doing a lot of things to make sure that I'm okay throughout this process, in my mental state, okay with my relationships with other people, making sure that when we get through this, I will still be who I am on the other side of it. Because whether I get this thing or not, on some level, is outside of my control. But I can still be me throughout it. I hope that makes some sense. Number two, people really can come together for a greater good. And that is something that I love so much in this. Obviously, some people are boneheads. You know, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. They're gonna walk around without a mask because they're in their own world. But in all honesty, most people are doing the right thing. We shut down the world for months. Sit with that. That's huge. I mean, think about it. Did you ever think that the entire world could just shut down? I didn't. I thought that for sure wheels would keep turning. And it's not like there won't be life after this, but everyone came together and decided this is important. We need to do this. And I think that's really admirable. I think the romantic in me is very excited that humanity is still capable of things like that. It's not something that you really saw a lot of, in my opinion, before. So I think it's really cool to see it after. And I hope that we hold on to something like that when we're past this. Number three. This is just, I guess it's more of a PSA than it is like something that I learned. Let's be honest. Some of those meetings could have just been a phone call. I'm just gonna leave that right there and let you pick it up and do whatever you wanna do with that. But man, I'm realizing that's a real thing. Okay, number 4 is a big one. It's something that really changed for me, and it's more of a personal thing, but I think a lot of people are feeling this and noticing it in themselves. What do you do with your time when you have lots of it? What do you do with your time in quarantine? Now, don't get me wrong, some people have a lot of passions that they're not able to do right now because of the fact that we're in quarantine. So I'm not trying to diminish that or not understand that, obviously, okay? But there's still a lot you can do. There's still a lot you can do. And when crap hits the fan, when rubber meets the road, do you sit there and say, well, the world's shut down, I guess I'll just shut down too? Or do you do something? Do you start that project you've always wanted to work on? I don't know. Do you spend more time with your kids? Or do you sit there staring at your phone most of the time? Do you get creative with your family time? Do you make time to call the people that you care about, even though you don't have them built into your everyday routine? I think that has been a huge one for me. Something that like I've always wanted to do is this. I've always wanted to do just like a channel and like talk to people and be creative and make more things. I have so many things in this room that allow me to be creative without having to leave it. And I know that that's a blessing as far as physical objects, and not everybody had that beforehand. But what I'm trying to say is I had all this stuff before quarantine hit. I wasn't doing anything with it. And now that we're in quarantine and I'm not allowed to leave, I just have been thinking a lot more about making things and how that feeds me. And that's another one on this list. I'll get to that later, but just what do I do with my time? I have no more excuses of saying, well, I can't. I'm so burnt out from work. I'm so burnt out from these social events that I had. I don't have time. I have to give my time here. I have to give my time there. I have plenty of time now. I have nothing but time. What am I gonna do with that? And at the other side of quarantine, am I just gonna be able to say that I watched Tiger King, saw the Ozarks, and binged a bunch of Hulu too? Or am I gonna be able to say, I started something I've always wanted to do. I spent more time with my family. I played video games with my nephew. I don't know, started a fitness challenge, did it from home. What is my thing gonna be, and what is your thing gonna be that you do? Leave a comment below. Maybe there's something that you've always wanted to do. Personally, voicing it always helps for me. Saying it out loud gives so much power to something. That's kind of why I just started this thing. I just want to make things. This next one's kind of controversial. I won't get too far into it. Number 5. Media doesn't always know what it's talking about. Let me go into that a little bit. I'm not trying to say that the media is all bad or anything like that. But honestly, don't believe everything you hear. And I'm not trying to say that from like a conspiracy theory type thing or like, ooh, everybody's evil and everybody's out to try and get you. But what I am trying to say is don't just post something just because you happen to hear about it. Make sure that it's a real thing. I can't tell you how many posts and stuff that I read that was wrong and misinformed and got people panicked about stuff that wasn't real. And I think that this goes both for media and for individual people. You know, take some responsibility for what you're putting out into the world. I know that you can't control everything, and a lot of people are doing this from a good place, trying to share their knowledge and pass it along. But verify something. Think about it. Is this real? Where is this source coming from? If I put this out somewhere and I'm wrong, is that gonna spread panic? Is that gonna do more harm than good? Think about this stuff. And again, that's not to point fingers at anyone specifically, not to point fingers on any one side of the board or the other. I'm just saying, I think that a little bit more forethought in some of this stuff would help a lot of people. Number 6, what do you really have at the end of the day? This is such a corny maxim, but sometimes it just takes something like this to seriously make you think about what's important. To be honest with you, I think that a lot of the times I have my nose so close to the picture that I can't even see what's going on. All this stuff really made me think, how much time do I really spend with my family? Really spend with them? How much time do I spend with the people I care about? What do I really have to be grateful for at the end of the day? And what do I invest myself into? And really, honestly, for me, it's family, it's my health, it's the ability to make things, and my creativity. Those are kind of my big 3. This one is a bit of a blanket statement, but I feel it's kind of real. What do you really have at the end of the day? And what's important to you? Number 7 is an obvious one. I feel like a lot of people are feeling this. I feel like a lot of these are obvious, but I'm just being honest and real about where I'm at. But number 7 is, dang, do I miss my friends? I know this is so silly, but I guess what I want to say is I don't just miss my friends. I miss people. I miss spending time with people, meeting strangers, talking to people that I don't always talk to. And it's not that my family might be driving me crazy at times. Honestly, like, I just miss people. And if you would have asked me just a little while back, Renee, do you like people? Honestly, maybe a year or two ago, I might have even said, I hate people. I'm one of those introverts that likes to be by himself. I am totally okay with being alone and creating things on my own and being my own world most of the time. But damn, I miss people. I have come to realize how much we need each other. I think that's so apparent in like the different ways that we're connecting with people. Zoom call, house party, FaceTime. We have so many different ways to connect with people. I downloaded apps just so I could talk to people. That to me says a lot. I am an introvert and I like to be alone. I need that to recharge. But as an introvert with this much isolation, it made me realize that even as somebody who likes to be alone, I also like to be with people. And that's important. Community is huge. Number 8, not one that I think most people would think about, but this is actually something that's kind of changed for me a little bit and kind of kicked me into gear. I am not a fitness freak by any means. I am not even what you would call super healthy. I tend to sit around a lot and create things. I don't really always watch what I eat. I haven't really been able to get out and exercise a lot. I have an injury that I'm still working through. Also, on top of that, I'm not really getting out, period. Also, going grocery shopping and knowing you only have a couple trips to make last over a long period of time, it really makes you think about what you're gonna get. Because man, if you get the wrong things, you're gonna be eating poorly for a real long time. You can't just get Oreos and chips and go, oh, I'll buy a sandwich later, because all the sandwich shops are closed and you gotta figure that out. I used to eat out a lot before this. I used to eat out almost every single meal. I do sometimes still order Postmates, I'm not gonna lie, in a pinch, but I order out way less now. I cook a lot more. I'm focusing on what I'm actually eating, trying to eat some healthy foods. Because man, left to my own devices, I would eat whatever's in front of me. I would eat a lot of junk food. I've been in that bad habit for a long time now. So I think it's really cool to see the fact that I have to pay attention to food now. By no means have I been perfect. A lot of junk food here and there, but when you are just pulled out of your normal routine of, oh, I'll just go to the Starbucks and pick up, you can't. So I don't know, food for thought. Food for thought. That was number 9. Almost done with the list. This one's interesting. How important it is for me to be creating for my mental health. Got a lot to break down there. I, for my mental health, need to be creative. This is just who I am. I need to make something. Honestly, I'm learning through this process in quarantine a lot about myself, and I'm learning more and more that it's less specific on what I make and more that I just need to be creative. Whether it's funny videos, podcasts, songs, any of these things that I've been creating over my life, I just need to make something bad. I am not making something, ooh, I lose my mind. It's interesting because it's not something that I knew about myself, I guess. I knew that I was a creative person, but I didn't know that I needed to do that or else I would lose my mind. That is what I need for my mental health. I don't know what it is that you need for your mental health, but this is a friendly reminder. Whatever it is, make sure you're doing it. And I'm not trying to sit here and like preach any kind of like, I'm not a guru of mental health. There's so many other people on YouTube that you can go to for that with degrees and things for that type of content. But what I'm saying is make sure you're doing something for yourself and make sure that you're actually doing it on a regular basis. Just because your normal routine is out of place, find a way to do the thing that you get fed by and continue to do it. Like I said, I still want to be me at the end of this thing more than anything else. I want to be me 2.0. I want to take this time to mold myself into a better person at the end of it. Part of that is making sure that I'm taking care of myself. If that is, reaching out to people because you're a very social person and you miss people, make sure you download a house party app. This is not a sponsored video by House Party. I keep saying house party. House party, house party, house party. Even if it's just an old-fashioned phone call. Remember this? This used to stand for a phone call. I'm just saying, man, remember that you are still you in all this and make sure that you do what you need to do to be you, boo. Do you. Okay, that went on a little longer than I meant it to. Now I'm losing my mind. Woo! We're finally at the end of this video. I talked a lot longer than I thought I was going to. This was fun. This is my first kind of sit down talky video. Talking heads, hey. So this is the last one, and it's kind of a bigger one, so I thought that I would just kind of end it on this. The last one that really hit home for me, how fragile certain people's lives and situations are. How my life in a lot of ways is pretty unaffected by this. And let me explain that. I did a podcast recently. One of the things that I mentioned in the podcast, I actually had to think about how often I'm gonna go get food from the grocery store because I don't wanna expose myself to more people. So I actually was thinking about, well, how much food should I be eating? Should I be eating that extra piece of meat or that extra sandwich or that extra this or the extra that? Or should I conserve that because I don't wanna have to go out and put myself in danger again or put someone else in danger again? And that got me to thinking, wow, some people have to think about food all the time, not having enough money for food or things of that nature. Before this, during this, because of this, some people were on the edge of poverty and this threw them into it. I don't know what clicked for me, but I was literally making a sandwich in my kitchen and I just thought to myself, this is some people's normal. And that really hit home for me. I have been just thinking about it and trying to stew on it and figure out what I can do from where I'm at. And I had a friend actually who recently started a campaign for helping people who are in this situation. It's a Tiltify campaign. All the donations go to helping people who are affected by COVID. He started a campaign on it and it's really cool, and he's a really good content creator and he's just a great guy. I was thinking about creating my own, but in all honesty, why rethink the wheel? Why not just push all of that towards his campaign? So I'm gonna put a link down below, and if you donate, the money will go to helping people who are affected by COVID-19. It's called Hope from Home. If you are not in a position where you can give right now, that is okay. But if you are in a position where you're okay, please think about donating. Some people are worried about where their food's gonna come from next week. And if you can do something about that from your couch, how cool is that? So the link is down below. I hope that you guys like this video. That feels really weird coming out of my mouth because it's such a YouTube thing to say, and I'm apparently making YouTube videos now. If you guys like this video, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for considering donating. Thank you even more if you were able to donate, and I hope that you guys are doing okay out there. I hope that you're staying safe. I would love to hear how you're doing and maybe anything that you might have learned during this whole quarantine process down below. I'd love to just hear what's going on in your life down below. If you like this video, you want more content like this, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment, show it to somebody. That works too. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.